Okay, everyone, this is Jeff Moriarty with Fox 10 News Now, and we have footage of a live chase, police chase going on in LA. Looking to get some more information on this right now. It appears someone has stolen a green cab. So it's a little strange. You have a whole lot of police cars following a green taxi cab. So, working to get more information on this now. This is live from Los Angeles. And we will pull more together information for you together as we get it. And this is coming to you from Los Angeles. You see the green taxi cab up in front there, and 2, 4, 6, about 8 police cars behind it. Unclear if the driver, if there's someone in the cab, has a weapon or not right now. Working to gather more information. Okay, this is Jeff Moriarty with Fox 10 News Now, and we are getting aerial footage from Los Angeles, where a police chase is underway. Police have a green taxi cab. You can kind of see it there through the houses. We understand it is a stolen taxi cab. We don't know much more beyond that at this point. So, stolen green taxi cab through South LA. Get you more information as we can. This is Jeff Moriarty with Fox 10 Phoenix. We are currently monitoring a police pursuit in Los Angeles. Suspect is in a green taxi cab. We understand the taxi is stolen and the driver may be armed. We don't know much more than that, other than there are a considerable number of police cars after this individual right now. And we lose him periodically because of surrounding buildings or trees. We lost track of him there now again. I don't know if maybe the police caught him. Oh, he's apparently quite near the airport, judging by the plane that just went by. Oh, no, there he is. Heading the other direction. So we are sticking with this. We get more information as we can. You can see a substantial number of police cars following him. I understand they're probably trying to keep distance because of the possibility of him being armed. So this is out of Los Angeles. I understand he stole the car near the Inglewood area. Not sure exactly where he is right now, but we're working to gather more information. So this is a police pursuit through Los Angeles. These are aerial pictures from a local station there. The police are pursuing a green taxi. Looking for more information on that as we get it. It's a stolen green taxi cab, many police cars in pursuit. Some more information here. I've been watching this for several minutes now. The suspect was being chased by police around 2 o'clock in the Inglewood area and is suspected of carjacking the car. A green taxi. Gonna have to guess that is a crime of opportunity because that is probably not somebody's first choice. terms of a car to pick. We're getting reports that we don't know the whole backstory here, but apparently residents are actually coming out on the street and cheering on the suspect as he drives by. So we don't know the whole story or who he is or why he grabbed this car. We're seeing if we can possibly get another angle on this particular feed right now. Maybe get a little bit closer. It's kind of tricky to see where he is and where he's going. The huge number of red and blue flashing lights behind him tend to help a little bit. There he goes across the intersection. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, I can't count because he moved the helicopter. There's a lot of cars back there. So I'm going to keep looking and seeing if we can go and see if I've got another angle here. Maybe I can see how many cars are in pursuit. Another feed here that I can see, but I'm not able to share, that showed some of the police opening their doors there as if they were expecting the suspect to bail, head out on foot, turn it into a foot chase. But right now it is still continuing down the streets. Chase is not over right now. Still going on. Patrick, Savannah, thank you for joining us. Yes, Michelle, this is a stolen taxi cab. We understand that the driver, it's a carjacking, may be armed. All right, we were able to get in a much better view. So, again, don't know much more other than it looks like suspect he's continuing eastbound on Imperial right now. For those of you familiar with the LA area, stolen car. I understand the suspect might be armed. Is a green Prius cab apparently. So this might be one of the most economical police chases that I have seen. Don't know the details around the suspect or the nature of the carjacking. Assumes this was simply a crime of opportunity. This probably wasn't the top car on this person's list. I'm not sure if he is male or female. Sierra 1947 to your question. I'm going to guess this was their top car. So obviously the other cars could probably easily overtake it, but if the suspect is armed, that raises a different set of challenges, so they are hanging back and following this for about 15 minutes. I understand this chase has been going on around 45 minutes. See at least 7 cars at different distances there as this person continues. I was a bit tense when going through an intersection there. Okay, looking to get more information here, and unfortunately I still don't have a lot. And this is Jeff Moriarty with Fox 10 News Now, and we are carrying a live stream of the pursuit of a green taxi that has been reported stolen in Los Angeles. And he is approaching the intersection here, it looks like. Since this is in Los Angeles, we don't have quite as much detail as we do when it's local, although sometimes when it's local we don't have any detail either. But we understand the suspect may be armed, probably armed, carjacked this car, and this pursuit's been going on for almost an hour now. Oh, we can see a little bit of a, looks like a guy in there, kind of hard to tell. Please continue to pursue. I'm not sure where he's headed, or several times the cars have slowed down. The police started to open their doors as if they expected this to go to a foot chase. So if you see the car slow down, it's what to watch out for there. See a number of helicopters in the area. This amount of aerial coverage and police cars behind you, it's really unlikely this guy's going to get away. But they always seem to hold out hope. I have to agree with some of the comments in the chat room. If you are not watching us on YouTube, we do have a chat room that accompanies all of our broadcasts where you can share your thoughts and comments. We have a great group of regulars, and they're very welcoming. Anyone else wants to join in and say hello and share your thoughts on this, and you can find that on our YouTube channel, fox10phoenix.com. We'll try that again, youtube.com/fox10phoenix. Although you could probably find this video right now on our main website as well. There's a whole chat room there. Sort of a little distracted, keeping an eye on the screen here. But some of the people were saying this is one of the politest car chases that they've ever seen. And I'd have to agree, although even the politest of car chases can end quite roughly and quite abruptly. Never anything to take lightly, especially with a carjacking with somebody who is armed. This actually does stop in a foot chase and he pulls a weapon, this could get rough very quickly. So again, this is a carjacking of a green cab out of Los Angeles. I lost track of exactly where this individual is. I will see if I can find some more information right now. And we will stay with this pursuit. Last information we have was that he was northbound on Crenshaw near 108th Street. Although, by the time this filters to us, the way he's driving, it's probably outdated information. And it's, since this is not local, this isn't Phoenix, The exact location probably isn't as critical to a lot of people watching locally. However, I do know we get viewers from all over the world, which we appreciate immensely. We are watching a stolen green taxi police pursuit through the streets of Los Angeles. Alright, for those of you joining us here, again, police pursuit, Los Angeles, green cab. Looks to be a man driving it, but we don't have that officially confirmed. We understand they could be armed, which is why the police are keeping such a big distance behind this cab. We don't know exactly what he did, and we don't know much more details than that. So we are watching along with you. This is live out of Los Angeles. Every time he slows down, every time he hits an intersection, I'm waiting for things to get pretty rough. Yeah, see, he's slowing down. The cops slow down. They want to keep distance there, but they are preparing to get out and engage in a foot pursuit. There's a lot of police in pursuit there. And is he going in circles? Didn't we just see this car lot? Alright, am I getting... Alright. I've lost track. I need a map of LA, and I don't know exactly where this guy is. So... he's hanging out the window there now. See if I can get more information. But it does appear to be short in coming. We're probably going to find out everything we need to know about this chase together as we watch. So he's got his window down, and is he on the phone? I thought he was on his cell phone calling somebody. I don't know. He stopped. Okay. No, he's not. He was playing with the police, stopping. So they started to get out of his car to probably pursue him, or probably have their own weapons drawn, since I understand this guy is armed, and he just took off again. With the helicopters overhead, both the news helicopters and police helicopters, he's not hiding anywhere. So, but again, most carjackings like this, if this was after a robbery, we don't know, making some, These poor people here just getting caught up in the middle of this, don't know what's going on. That's a hell of a thing. I thought he was going to perhaps draw his weapon on that other person in the car there. We've got a lot of people out, so they must have seen, as we mentioned earlier, people were coming out, cheering him on. You can see crowds, wow. People are coming out cheering the guy on, which if weapons get drawn is just really not going to be helping the situation. at all. What a mess. All right, the car is, and he's going again. This is one of the stranger police. Not that I've seen a lot of police chases, but this is a little bit crazy.
Yeah, the good country.
So it looks like LAPD is tweeting to try to keep people out of the area because of the pursuit, but obviously there's just so much traffic. Oh, dude in the blue van. Oh no. This is just, no, what are you doing? Is he trying to get out of the way or trying to help? I'm sure what's happening there. I would not imagine it'd be a good idea for anyone to try and get involved in this particular situation here.
The other problem with that song was it was like really catchy, and you're like, oh, this is supporting that. There's gonna be a bunch of crazy people. They're like, this is exciting. It's just reinforcing the thoughts now. Carry it.
Doing some of the housekeeping here. Trying to get more information. For those of you who join us regularly, we normally start our broadcast at 3 p.m. We will not be doing a separate broadcast. We have a couple other stories we want to cover. But we'll be continuing here. My name is Jeff Moriarty. I am your host today on Fox 10 News Now. Your regular host, Samia Khan, is on vacation in California. Hopefully she is nowhere near this car chase. Actually, I don't think she's in this part of Cali, but she is enjoying her day off, so I am filling in for her and covering this chase as well as some other things. We will hopefully talk to Troy Hayden a little bit about upcoming Jodi Arias news, take a little bit of another look at that absolutely incredible video out of Cottonwood and the passing of Raul Castro, a few other topics that we've got on store. But right now, all eyes are on this green taxi cab, brightly and economically winding its way through LA streets. And I'm going to go see if I can get some more information on that, take care of some other behind-the-scenes details, and try to keep my eye on the monitor at the same time. Thank you for joining us on Fox 10 News Now. Wow, so it looked like he was maybe going to carjack that other person there, trying to, I guess, upgrade his ride. I don't know if he's low on gas potentially, or kind of what's going on, or just he wants something faster. Let's see, police helicopters engaged there as well. All right, we got a lot of people joining us today, and we appreciate that. This is Fox 10 News Now, a streaming newscast. Get us on your phone, on your laptop, on your TV, anywhere you got an internet connection. And one of the nice things about this format, got more people cheering the guy on. They're clearly watching this locally. Hopefully they're watching Fox 10 News Now, but they might be watching something else in LA, and they come out to cheer this guy as he goes through the streets in his stolen green Prius taxi cab with a whole lot of police behind him and overhead. Police are hanging back because they understand that he is armed. You see some more people there coming out to cheer on. Just crazy to me, especially knowing the guy's armed. It just only makes the situation crazier if that can actually happen by putting that many more civilians in the mix. Depending on where you're watching this, if you are watching us on YouTube, we have a great chat room there. Please hop in, say hello, get involved in the conversation, talk about what's going on. That's one of the things that makes this medium so exciting compared to regular TV, which I love dearly, but I like the interactivity. We can talk about events live. We can stay with something like this for a long period of time, even when other TV stations have to cut away. Still going. More bystanders. Those people sitting in chairs? I'm going to just kind of hope they were out there already, because that's a little bit crazy. Maybe a lot. I don't know. He's stopping by someone else again. They're getting out of there. Yeah, they want no part of that. All right, so we have a number of people in the chat room. We saying hello, get some shout outs there. We are also, Savannah, worried about the bystanders. We are, wow, he is now pinned up against a train going under a train gate. He is not getting anywhere now. Yeah, I've never seen, so now we have a train and a Prius involved, and he's going the other way. This is one of the strangest police chases that I've only been doing this about a year and a half. I've seen a few. I've seen some weird ones. This is new. But now he's also going the wrong way in traffic, which considerably impedes his ability to move. So it looks like you've got more people cheering him on. Now he's stopping. I don't know what he's doing right there. He's wedging between. Oh, people are waving him on, giving him directions on where to go. And I was at least going the right way again, which is nice. And he's off again. Wow. Prius versus train. Prius prevails. Insane. All right. Sorry about that. So, yeah, he doesn't seem to be speeding. He seems to be going excessive rates of speed that could be limited to his car. Saw some different people said that. Someone I think from Costa Rica said they were watching. If you're watching from anywhere around the world, love to hear where people are tuning in from. I think this is fantastic, the reach this has. Ooh, just missed clipping that car. Oh, Soren Larsen from Denmark, Scandinavia watching. Appreciate that. Soren, this is happening in Los Angeles, California. Oh, he's hitting the speed there. And this, understand this chase has been going on for a little over an hour. We picked it up, I'll say about half an hour ago. We've been carrying it ever since then. This is a carjacker, stole a green Prius, going through the streets of LA. It's gone the wrong way multiple times. All over the place, every kind of street. Now he's in a residential area. He was in an industrial area before. People are watching on TV, coming out to cheer him on. He got cornered by a train, managed to turn around and keep going after that. He's come up against, it looks like another news van. They got a little bit of an exclusive there. He stopped by several cars. It was unclear if he was trying to get a different car or not around if he stops and gets out of that vehicle till they're sure he is unarmed. All right, got a lot of Arizonans here checking in. Got John up in Flagstaff, Alice joining us from Glendale. Ray, or Rye, hope I've got your name right, one of those 2 times, in Santan. Thank you for joining us. And of course, Michelle's over in Ireland, Maddie in the UK. 2 places I love dearly. Okay, he just high-fived someone. The carjacking Prius thief is high-fiving people as he's passing down the road. This continues to be one of the strangest carjackings. So we've got trains, we've got Priuses, we have high fives. Yeah. I'm not sure I've got anything to add at this point. That's new.
This jacket match the car.
He's professional, man.
All right, he has his wipers on.
Start taking bets. Like, what do you guys think's gonna happen today? If you get it right. Cash. Maybe he robbed a bank.
It looks like he is throwing money out the window, and people are trying to get at the money from the cars. I could not. Yeah, again, I'm kind of new to police chases, but this is a whole new thing to me. Wow. So, again, we are looking at a. Tell your friends to tune in because this is one of the craziest police chases they are ever going to see. Tweeted, shared, posted on your Facebook page. We appreciate you spreading the word. What we're doing here, carrying this stuff live, is new, and all of you wonderful people letting others know about it is the way we keep going. Chacho Rum, hello from Las Vegas. Thought we had crazy crab drivers. Yeah, you're going to have to raise the bar because if you're just tuning in, this guy's been going the wrong way. He stopped multiple times. He faced off an entire freight train and turned around. He high-fived people as he was going along. He looks like he's stopping again here. Going to a wider shot here now. I'm not entirely what's going on. Hopefully we're going to catch this here in a second. We might have gotten very close to LAX airspace, and there are a lot of helicopters around. Oh, we got it back. Okay. It's amazing how difficult it is to actually keep track of these things when you're pursuing somebody or chasing somebody in a news helicopter over an urban setting. You know, you're trying to, safety first, right? You have a lot of things in the city. Buildings, hello, LA. A lot of traffic. You have other helicopters. You have possibly medical helicopters. You have local planes. You have police helicopters. Need to stay out of their way. There's usually limits to what people can do in that helicopter in terms of maintaining. People are running back out to the car again. Looks like they were either after high fives or money again. Again, I've sort of given up trying to figure out what's going to happen at any given time in this police chase. I think at this point, if the llamas made another appearance, I wouldn't be too surprised. This is something else. Anyway, as I was saying, so it can be very difficult to keep, a view on a car like this. This is really, really, really difficult to do. And then if you get too close to a airspace of a airport or something like that, then you've got to fly entirely around. It says we have somebody from Poland in the chat room. So, jak się masz. My pronunciation is probably horrible on that these days, but hopefully that made sense. So, appreciate everybody joining in. We are still this. We've been with this for, let's see, what's the time count on this? For almost 50 minutes. As this individual carjacker, we understand he is armed. All right, so Hello everyone, I'm just here watching this with you. This is the same feed that I have in the studio. You're seeing it at the same time that I do. I will remove my headset here, my face, if we actually get a... Let's change that camera over. If I get in the way. My name is Jeff Moriarty. I am one of the hosts here on the DJs, if you will, on Fox 10 News Now, live streaming. Breaking news. We had a whole show planned for 3 o'clock, and this is what happens with breaking news. You go with what's happening. So this person has been going through the streets of LA in a stolen taxi cab. Unclear why he keeps putting the wipers on. But he has stopped to high-five people numerous times. He has thrown money out the window, people cheering him on. This is just one of the craziest things that I've seen. You've got an armed individual, police pursuing. They're clearly armed. Wow, there's some nice crowds there. So clearly they knew which way this guy was headed, and they got out in front of him. Is that tell me that is not a school. I really hope this guy gets nowhere near a school. What is he? I don't know what he was giving him there. If you've got theories in the chat room, I'd love to hear them.
There's a lot of scandalous images, but there's recent
Questions that need to be asked.
One of the theories in the newsroom here is that someone was actually handing him a beer. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to take my picture-in-picture here, since every time I do that, he ends up in that corner of the frame. So. All right, so a recap for everybody joining us, since we have upwards of 300 people watching right now. We have a green Prius. Oh boy, and he's coming up against some stopped traffic. Is he going to work his way through? Is he going to hit the curb? Cut through the parking lot. Yeah, so these people are probably responding to the police behind him, getting out of his way. He's through. Every time he makes an intersection, even with all those police behind him and the helicopters overhead, there's a lot of risk. At least he's on the right side of the road. All right. Miss Scalliant asked, are these car chases something unusual in the States? Fairly. Every so often you get something, but they're rarely of this duration. So this is, and we have he's back on the freeway, and we have a much bigger vehicle coming up. I wonder if they're going to try a pit maneuver on him and try to disable this vehicle once and for all. Of course, again, risky if he is armed. But once he got on the freeway, that changed the nature of this game. So we might be about to see a truck taking out a Prius. I'm betting on the truck. I always bet on the police and their vehicles. They have much better equipment in this case here, but okay, so that officer is going to be looking for a place to do this. If it is, and I'm guessing that's a pit maneuver vehicle, given the structure on the front of it there, used for coming up behind and tapping into the back of the car and causing him to spin out of control. He's looking for an open space to do that, which might be he probably held off because of all the people in the intersection. Again, people come out of their homes, jumping out of cars, cheering this guy on, handing him things. He's throwing money out of the car. Does he have his wipers on again? I don't get the wiper thing. But... All right, he's got a wide open. I'm not clear why he didn't do it then, because now he's back in traffic. So it looks like he's getting off the freeway. Yeah, it looks like I don't see any. Well, it looks like the regular police cars are held way back now, and there's a small army of very unhappy-looking SUVs who are looking to take this to its conclusion. They just missed him. Yeah, they're definitely trying to pit him, so those are pit maneuver vehicles. Yeah, this is an extremely, Jan Wilcox said, this is so dangerous, may not look like it, but it is a very dangerous maneuver for everyone involved, especially with this guy being armed, making sure they do it in a spot where it doesn't impact other cars or send them into a building or pedestrians or anything else. So, and he tried for another pit move there, trying to tag the back of that vehicle, the back of the Prius, but the Prius darts away again. He's multiple times previously, and they got him. And they're coming in on the side there, trying to pin him in. But again, they believe this guy is armed, so we expect to see weapons drawn. I would expect to see that. You can see those are some big, mean-looking vehicles right there. And we have the trifecta. I don't think there's anywhere that guy is going. And they've got a canine dog out there, ready to release as well. Coming out the top of the SUV. Again, this is live. We do not know exactly what's going on. If you are concerned about what you might see, you might want to tune out now, because we are going to stay with this. We got somebody over on the side there in the lower right behind that banner trying to see what's going on. Dude, this is not a good time to be. I don't know if he's trying to get a picture or what he's doing, but he needs to back out. The police are waving everybody else away. I don't know who that guy is by the fence. Okay, the man's out. I think he's down on the ground. A whole lot of officers and very, very angry German Shepherd. So they are cuffing him. I'm going to check the rest of the car, what they're signaling for there. They're picking the suspect up, and it does look like the individual we saw earlier hanging out of his window, high-fiving people as he drove, carjacked, we understand, this taxi. We don't know the fate of the original taxi driver. We don't know what he was doing beforehand. This was over an hour-long chase through LA. We saw trains, we saw detours, we saw money being tossed from the window. It was one of the stranger police chases that we've seen. Looks like he is the only individual in the car. If you missed any of it, one of the nice things about this YouTube stream is you can just simply rewind and watch it again later. That guy in the white shirt was the person we saw earlier in the lower right-hand corner by the fence. So taking a picture of him at the scene. So we'll stick with this picture a little bit longer. So Soren, you said you can't see anymore what's happening. Every so often YouTube will reset the feed. If you have problems either seeing the chat or seeing the video or audio, refresh the page and it usually loads up just fine. We're doing, it's been an hour-long live stream and a whole lot of things can go wrong somewhere down the line. So apologize for that, but we love that it has the ability to be seen worldwide and have everybody join in. All right, so helicopter is leaving the area. So hello, my name is Jeff Moriarty. I am the one of the hosts of Fox 10 News Now. Backup for Samia Khan in this particular capacity. I do the social media and other things at the station. And normally we go on the air at 3 o'clock with a whole bunch of stories and news and other topics going on around the state. But, well, a car chase broke out. So we are going to be improvising a little bit, looking at some of the stories that we had going on and playing it as we go. So thank you to everyone who joined in. If you thought this was interesting, then what you should do is download our app free for your Android, iPhone devices under Fox 10 Phoenix in those stores, and you'll get an alert popping up whenever we go live, especially with breaking news like this. You'll be the first to see it. If you don't like that, we're also on Twitter, Fox 10 News Now. You'll get a tweet when we go live, and you can have that pop up on your phone or do whatever you like with it. Point being, this is a great way to stay connected to things that are going on and looking at stories in more depth and interactively in our chat room. So, if there's any questions from anyone who's new and joining us in the chat room, let me know. We do try to watch that as we go back and forth. So, the first topic I want to talk about is one that we covered extensively this morning, but I think bears a repeat review. Just a second here. All right. And that is the video out of Cottonwood. In March, we had a sorry. All right. Looking at some other news on this chase to see if anything else is going on. No. So, last month there was a shooting in Cottonwood, Arizona, outside of Walmart. Several people were reportedly staying in vehicles, camping in vehicles in the Walmart parking lot. And one of them let's see here. Comment on the chat room. We welcome all views, all perspectives. Keep it civil. We will be more than happy to ban somebody if you can't avoid using profanity or if you're just kind of rude in general. It's a great way to talk about the news. We welcome all opinions, but just keep it clean. All right. Anyway, so a Walmart employee called the police. Several police responded, and I don't know how to describe it other than a brawl broke out. Full-on brawl, the likes of which it's amazing video to see. So keeping an eye, we still do have the feed from LA here. There's not a lot on it, but just in case something happens, we'll cut back to that. So today, the Cottonwood police held a press conference, and Let's see here. Sorry, taking care of someone in the chat room. All right, so anyway, so they released the video, absolutely incredible, and they walked us through it one person or one frame at a time. And I'm going to go back and look at that again. I was hoping to get Steve Krafft up here to talk about it in more detail, but unfortunately, he is very, very busy. He went up to Cottonwood for this press conference, just got back, and is working on his packages. He's going to be a key piece of the show this evening. So I'm going to go ahead and try to bring up some of that video right now. And it's not a, let's see here. I don't have the whole thing here. All right. So what I'm actually going to do is go to the actual video we played today. So this will be a bit of a repeat for those of us who joined us this morning. However, I think anyone who has seen this video will agree that it is very much worth watching. This is exceptional. I mean, again, this is footage from a dash cam of one of the police officers who replied. And it is absolutely stunning. This isn't a minor altercation. This is a full-on brawl. And get this queued up here. And one of the nice things about this particular format is we can ingest things, get them streamed to us live, and come back to them later. So, all right. Let's check the chat room, see if there's any other comments. Okay, so this is the Jodi Fanning, the chief of police for the Cottonwood Police, going over the video from the fight, and I think he does it twice. He actually goes over it in slow motion, then he goes over it in more detail. And I think we're just going to go ahead and go through the first version of it. Actually, just a second, if you will. Steve Krafft's walking by. I'm going to see if he has a second to stop up and talk about this.
Everything was just filed.
All right, good news, everyone. I'm not going to have, unfortunately, a lower third for the gentleman, but the wonderful, the amazing, the experienced, the illustrious Steve Krafft is going to be joining us here.
Okay, I'm here.
All right, let me get your mic on. No, don't move that way. You got to move it this way. There we go. All right, Steve. So you were up in Cottonwood. We're about to replay the video here, and if you want, we can replay it, and you can kind of talk us through it a little bit, or
Sure.
Let me kill
I'll
this.
talk to you as much as I can. I have to do a 5 and a 6 o'clock story.
Totally understand. Appreciate you joining us
No
at
problem.
all here.
This is the real world of TV.
Yeah, so I mean, again, I'm relatively new to the TV business here, but I have never seen a fight video like that. I mean, it looked like something out of a melee, a movie or something. So, all right, we are going to, I think it's about to start. It was interesting. They had some technical problems getting going.
Now let's go right to the beginning here.
Let's see if I can.
You'll see
Okay, we'll
him.
just start it here, and then
Okay, and I'll just talk a little bit about it, and then this all started because there was a Walmart in Cottonwood, and
you can see, as Jim had
A
just
woman
mentioned
apparently
earlier,
was
that
in the
police
bathroom at the
are
Walmart.
waiting
It
until
looks
he
like the
drops his speed
mom
below
in this
35 miles
family,
per hour
I
before
think.
they can attempt to do a
And
hit maneuver for
two of
their
the
safety.
kids were guarding the bathroom at Walmart, wouldn't let people in. A Walmart employee came up to say, "What's up with that?" And allegedly, these two family members shoved the employee to the ground. At which point, they called the police in Cottonwood. Police arrived and confronted the family in the parking lot where they had been camping out for days, and apparently all sleeping inside what looked like a Chevrolet Suburban type vehicle, and 8 members of a family all crammed inside this one SUV.
Now, the video is about to begin here, so
Go ahead and start it.
And okay, one of the questions that came up before is, does Walmart have a policy? Is that normally okay for people to camp out in the
Walmart
parking
had
lot?
an informal policy that goes back to the early days of Walmart, where for some reason it was kind of a tradition in Walmart folklore to have people camping out, traveling around the country, visiting various Walmarts. That may have been why they were there. As you can see, the police arriving here, and there's the family. However, that has now changed, and there are signs posted in that parking lot, "No more camping allowed." I don't know how recently the signs went up. Right here, they're just kind of standing around, but within seconds of the police confronting this family, you're going to see an outrageous sort of melee right there start to break out. Boom. Right there, someone gets knocked to the ground, and it's on. This is within a period of 10 seconds.
Now, who are some of the people we're looking at here? How many police are on the scene at this point?
There were about 4 police officers roughly on the scene early on. They got reinforcements later. But these family members were wearing heavy clothes, so it was hard to tase them. The family somehow knew that if they were tased, if they rolled to the ground and rolled over, they could sort of defeat the electrical charge by breaking the wires that are required by a taser.
Right.
So they had that knowledge. And for whatever reason, they didn't seem to be subduable.
Now, there's a Walmart employee in here as well, correct?
That's right. And he's known to the cops because I guess there's a lot of criminal action that comes out of Walmart.
Is he
shoplifters and whatnot.
Is he one of these 2 people up
Yeah,
front?
he's the guy, I think, that right there.
The one on the right?
Right, if I'm correct about this. Yes,
I think
he's the
so.
guy. Right.
And here we get some real haymakers starting to get thrown.
Yeah, it was kind of like a hockey fight. A lot of punches were kind of landed, but kind of not. It was like big bears pawing at each other. No one really got seriously knocked out. It was like a big drunken rampage, although apparently no drugs or alcohol was involved in any of this. This is a family from Idaho that was a Christian band called Matthew 24 Now, and they were known as buskers in Boise. You can see them kind of walking away here, and
I'm sorry,
singing for contributions and that sort of thing.
I'm sorry, I looked away for a second. What did you say the name of the band was?
Matthew 24 Now. Matthew 24 refers to the second coming of Christ,
Gotcha.
according to what people have been saying about this. So at this point, it looks like sort of a barroom brawl, but it quickly turns deadly. And the reason it turned deadly is one of the family members who is off screen to the right, named a 21-year-old Epoch, I think it was.
Yeah, I think Epoch was the name they mentioned.
He's a 21-year-old, last name Gaber. They're all the Gaber family. Took a gun from one of the officers in this struggle. You can't see it here. You'll have to go forward, and you'll see that part later.
That was actually one of the other questions we had earlier was where the gun came from and who actually did the
He
firing.
took a police officer's gun and shot a cop in the leg with his own gun.
Wow.
And at that point, another officer rushed up to the scene and shot the guy who'd taken the officer's gun. And he shot him in the head and killed him on the spot. And he fell like a sack of potatoes and was dead. Didn't move at all. So you can see right now people are walking off screen to the right, and that fight is going to kind of come back into screen.
Yeah,
and you're going to see the officer struggling later on, and you're going to have to advance it here because you're seeing a little bit of it there, but it's going to get more into this frame. This is all shot off the dash cam of a police cruiser that rolled up.
Again, I was amazed at how long this went on.
Went on for a good 10 minutes. Police were trying to use nightsticks there. which they called ASPs, which was a term I'd never heard before. They used pepper spray, they used tasers, they fought with these guys, they wrestled with them, they punched them. But this family would repeatedly put its hands up as if it was going to surrender, it would walk up to the officers and take a swing at the officers. And that right there, you can see, this is the end here. That's the officer on the who's you can see he's holding his gun right there.
Right.
And he's been shot in the leg. The officer on the ground, and you can see the man who, sad to say, died in all of this, and he's just laying on the ground. And a brother came up to him and the mom. And if you were to hear, and I don't know if folks at home are hearing any sound here.
No, I have the audio off. There's
Probably just as well. It's gruesome. A lot of wailing and weeping, and it's awful. But that's a young man who was shot and killed. And the officers said that, they really had no choice. You've got a guy who's been fighting officers, wrestling with a cop. He took the cop's gun, he shot the cop. What could they possibly do? They had to put an end to this, and they did. And we were right at that spot in the Walmart parking lot today where this happened, and there's just a big blood stain still on the pavement there. It's kind of gruesome.
So now what... did these people have a history of this kind of violence? I mean, this isn't a...
The cops said that there was nothing that they had immediately seen that showed this kind of history of criminal behavior and why they freaked out, which is really all you can say this was. And the fight continues, by the way, behind their Suburban. There's a big fight going on over there while this brother is dead on the pavement.
Right.
And... what it was that set them off, who knows? But it's bizarre behavior to be camping out for days on end, 8 people packed, and big people packed in a Suburban like that. I mean, come on. There was something seriously odd about all of this. They had driven down from Boise to Cottonwood for reasons we don't know, the police don't know, and the police said it was, there's another person falling down there. He's rolling right there to defeat a taser, by the way. He'd just been tased, he's rolling to knock out the taser wires. I learned a lot about tasers today. But anyway, they had driven down away from Idaho for reasons that were unclear to the police in Cottonwood. They had been told that there were just quote-unquote circumstances that caused the family to leave Boise. So nobody knows, but they wound up in Cottonwood, and folks in the Cottonwood area would know what this is all about. They probably had seen these folks there for a period of days. Now, this may not have been completely unusual because people had camped over time in Walmart, but this was kind of an unusual collection of people.
So now they were guarding the bathroom door? Was that...
Allegedly. This is all what we are hearing.
Now, do we know why? Tim Knight in the chat room asked if why they were possibly guarding that door.
Well, I can only think, and I'm speculating here, so it's an educated guess by me. I'm always very clear about when I don't know something as a fact. But if you're there for a period of days, that bathroom becomes your changing room, it becomes your shower room, it becomes a place you freshen up. Whoever was in there might have been taking us, washing or doing something beyond what you would normally do in a business's bathroom. Maybe as a changing room or who knows. But there were some reasons that the family didn't want anyone else walking in at that moment, allegedly, to that bathroom. So I can only speculate it was that sort of a thing, in lieu of a shower, maybe cleaning up, or needed personal time in there, whatever. But the thought that someone standing guard outside a bathroom in a Walmart won't let customers in, they're not employees of the store, you can see why the hackles of the employees would be raised.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and you're going to have more when this evening?
Well, we'll have something on at 5 o'clock. And we'll have something on at 6 o'clock. And we were able to get some sound from the police chief, whose name is Jodi Fanning. And he was very saddened by all of this. But he also felt, and as you looked at this tape, he played it for us twice. First in regular real time and then slowed down significantly. The officers were really attacked and they were trying to defuse a situation that simply could not be defused.
Yeah, and I know you've got to go, so I will cover some of the replay that Chief Fanning did and so on, so I'll let you get back to work putting your package together. So thank you very much for taking the time up here. I appreciate that.
Happy to help.
Thank you. Have a good evening, sir.
You bet.
All right. Okay, let me get back into the center of frame here. So, And Mr. Steve Krafft giving us a little bit more information there. So we had somebody in the chat ask about playing the audio. It's not that we think anyone in our chat room, Professor Bland, not that we think anyone is unable to handle it. We played it earlier today. It's more that it was kind of difficult to listen to that and listen to us at the same time. The entire press conference with Police Chief Fanning is on our YouTube channel right now. You can go and listen to it in its entirety. Yes, some of the people in the chat room, I was tased. I played the video of me being tased. So those of you who left earlier today, Rachel, talking to you, did not get to see me get tased. So sorry. That's why it's important to tune into every episode, because you never know when somebody is going to get hit with a taser around here. The press conference I found it very interesting for a couple of reasons. One, I mean, it escalated incredibly quickly. And as Steve said, it went from just being a few people just walking up to a full-on brawl. And but in spite of that, there was very little escalation. I mean, the first shot that was fired was a actual one of the suspects who stole the officer's gun and used it. It wasn't that a police officer drew their weapon and fired. And even after all of that had happened, Soren, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful evening. Hopefully you join us again sometime soon. But then he goes through and brings up, the police chief brings up the entire video, not once but twice. He walked through it where you just saw this here. And if I go back to it, still got it playing over here in the other screen. Again, you can see the full thing on our YouTube channel. If you go back here, let me bring up the audio on it. We'll come in here in a second.
Then do it. Or actually, I know what to do. That's Hicks, that's Daniels, that's the Walmart employee right there.
The person you're hearing talking is Chief
This is Officer
Fanning.
Sturley. This gentleman right here, which is, I believe, Dave.
They're playing it at quarter speed, and Chief Fanning is using a laser pointer to outline everything that they've seen in the video. So sometimes we see police release a video just sort of its entirety. Here it is in a brief description, but this is a very thorough walkthrough of everything that happens in the video. So the person that you're seeing here is Chief Fanning.
He sees Officer Sturley approaching. You'll see him. He's going to come through the crowd and block Officer Sturley from getting close to his mom and his sister. He grabs at Officer Sturley. Officer Sturley tries to keep him from grabbing his hand. He smacks Officer Sturley's hand. And then Sergeant Daniels grabs a gentleman there. And then this gentleman right here is going to punch Hicks in the throat. And then they go to the ground. The big one here, Nathaniel, he grabs at Sergeant Daniels' face. Officer Clark's going to pull him off. And you're going to see Enoch come in from out of nowhere and deliver a pretty good blow to Officer Clark. And then he gets him again with a second blow. Takes him to the ground. However, Officer Clark is able to recover. Most of Officer Clark and Enoch's fight occurs off screen over here. They're pretty much one-on-one for a long time. Officer Sturley is right here on the ground. Officer Hicks
One of the things I didn't get to
this
ask
gentleman.
Steve
However, the father is going to
is
intervene and stop Officer Hicks
why there was
from
only one
engaging
dash
this person
cam
here, who then
working
will
at the
turn
time.
And attack Officer
And
Sturley.
I'm not sure
and you'll see
the
him
full
go
reason for
immediately to the
that.
face and start ripping on the face.
But Chief
Officer
Fanning
Hicks
said
will
that
come
all of
back
those
in
had
and
been
tase this gentleman. However,
repaired
he
by
will
now.
do little to no
It
good
does make me
because
wonder,
he will
though,
only
about
roll
the
with
overall
taser, and
quality.
continue to hold on to Officer Sturley's face.
So this is, I think, where a lot of the haymakers really start flying again. Again, just an incredible video.
Officer Hicks hits him with the taser right there. He rolls and pulls Sturley by the face, by the ear actually. Then he loses hold for just a brief second, but he grabs a hold of his shirt and hangs onto his shirt and his outer vest carrier and holds it forever. At no time does the mother ever try to get the 11-year-old and herself out of this entire mess or melee. She keeps that 11-year-old right there the entire time. At no time does the mother or the father ever try to convince the children to just stop, to quit, to comply in any way. The only thing they do is yell at us that we are Nazis. Officer Sturley will come through. He makes minor contact with the mother and daughter. He does not assault them in any way, trying to keep them as just plain bystanders that are blocking. Officer Hicks is on the ground here. The father is now on top of Sergeant Daniels again with one of the brothers, or grabbing a hold of Sergeant Daniels right there. Officer Sturley will tase the father. However, he has a big heavy winter coat and the darts won't get through the heavy winter coat and do any damage or stop the father in any way. The Walmart supervisor will make the Walmart employee stop, and he will comply, only for a brief moment, because this subject right here will immediately go over and grab Sergeant Daniels by the face again. Officer Daniels is on the ground on his back right there. That's Officer Daniels' head right there, or Sergeant Daniels' head right there. He gets back up almost to where he can control it. The father's going to interject, and this one's going to come in and grab him. The mother tries to grab Sergeant Daniels, but this one will grab him by the face and pull on his nose and eyes. He loses grip, but the other brother grabs immediately for the face again. Walmart employee comes back in and tries to stop this one from doing any more damage.
So lady in the blue is Walmart employee.
That's a Walmart supervisor, yes, ma'am. That's the first taser hit that actually works. The gentleman doesn't see it coming, and we get a wide spread, and it actually works on him. However, the second that the taser is, the electricity is stopped, you'll see the gentleman, he is immediately right back up and into the fight. Sergeant Daniels has pretty much escaped this melee here, but he's going to see Officer Clark over here being overpowered by Enoch. So he has to go to Officer Clark's rescue to prevent Officer Clark from being overpowered. At this point, Officer Hicks is going to hit this gentleman with an asp, which we believe it breaks his arm right there, but you will notice in the entire fight, you will not see that it appears to have slowed him down at all.
So the asp that Steve mentioned
Again,
earlier
will
is
try to interject and get between.
extendable baton that many
This one over
police
here has
use.
now came over to assist Enoch with
I looked
Officer
that up
Clark
this
and
morning. That was
Officer
kind of
Sergeant
it was new
Daniels.
to Steve Krafft.
So
It was new
Officer
to a
Clark
lot of
has
us
to break
watching
away
this.
from
But
Enoch and Sergeant
apparently that
Daniels
is
to
the
deal with
baton
him.
that the Cottonwood police here
Again, we're still over here dealing with these brothers.
were
And the
using in
father,
this particular
the
fight.
mother here, as you can see, she's reaching, but she is not reaching for her son. She is reaching for the officer trying to pull him away. Again, she doesn't tell her son to quit or anything else. That one there goes back over, and now Sergeant Daniels has two on him. Officer Clark right there has to back away because he knows he's about to have two on him, with the largest of the bunch coming, and he is incredibly strong, so he has to back away. Officer Sturley is dealing with this gentleman right here who has a cane and has started hitting people with the cane. Officer Sturley has his weapon out, but he can't shoot because of the backdrop. There's officers and other people in the way, so he can't shoot. He tries to rotate to make it a clear shot.
Okay, we're going to cut away from that right now. And again, that whole video is on our YouTube channel. But what we're going to do is get a special guest up here. Monday, Jodi Arias is going to get sentenced, and you can't say Jodi Arias without saying Troy Hayden, much to his continued delight, I am sure. So we are going to be bringing up Troy Hayden right now.
You should give me the link for this, and I'll tweet it out real quick.
I will do that right now, getting your lower third up. Not that you need any introduction.
I get a lower third.
Heck yeah.
It's very exciting.
It's amazing I had space for me in there. It's like Troy Hayden and then this other guy with the bad hair.
That's not the way it works.
That is exactly how that works. My mic out of the way.
Yeah, that's all. I'm good.
That's it?
Yeah. I mean, you covered it all in that.
Okay, good.
Sitting on a tweet here, and then we will chat a little bit about...
I sent you some pictures, too. Did you get those pictures in your email?
I've not had a chance to check my email
Okay.
yet, but
Maybe
I can
as
bring
we
those up
start
here in a
talking,
second. Okay. All right, chat sent, so you should be able to see that and retweet it. And we got some.
I've got Ruth Bader Ginsburg ice cream.
Wow, that is impressive. Oh wow.
Is that what came up?
So that's one of the pictures.
Oh, yeah. And I just got back from Las Vegas. And some things we can't talk about, but some things we can. So I put up some... I thought, I don't know how much time you have to kill.
As much as you got to spare.
Yeah.
But
People like talking about Las Vegas.
yeah, they do.
Just a few of my observations.
All right. Well, let me. I have no idea what we're looking at here.
You got to flip them the other way. I guess that's my bad.
Let's see if I can rotate this here. All right. We'll work on this one later. So, did you find the tweet?
No.
No.
It doesn't exist to me.
All right. Well,
Kidding me? Are those
should be
old?
coming your way. Troy Hayden, Fox 10. Are you following us, or it should show up in your
Absolutely.
mentions?
Oh, my mentions. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
That's
Or
weird.
they're being run over by one.
Troy Hayden's a popular individual, so got a lot of people to look through there. But now we'll get what I refer to as the Troy Hayden bump.
Sounds like a dance move.
Yeah, well, take that after the Colbert bump. When he would talk about somebody, they would get a bump in the ratings. So, yes, I am scooching over a little bit. We'll get Troy in here. Coming in, my friend. Let's get your mic all the way up.
Hello.
All right, would you rather start with the your trip, or would
No.
you rather start with Jodi Arias and get this out of the way?
Okay, yeah, we can talk about Jodi. Are people wanting to talk about, did I go to the KISS mini golf course? Oh, I didn't even see that. The thing was, I didn't get to do the full Vegas experience because I was working so much, and we had some very pointed things we wanted to do,
Working. I've seen these pictures.
Everybody says that.
Working. Yeah, I
Oh,
wonder
no.
why.
Well, but the thing is, when you travel even from spot to spot where you're doing news,
Right.
you see things. And it's my observations. I hadn't been in Vegas in 20 years.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, now I'm doubly intrigued. I haven't been in probably 5, and I just hear about how much it's changed. I mean, weekend to weekend. So 20 years? Wow, okay.
Oh, it's
Well,
huge. I went for let's put it this way. I was working in, it's been longer than that. I think, I was in Vegas for the station, but I went straight to Nellis Air Force Base. We were going to put our governor in prison for a while, and then we didn't, by Symington.
Oh, wow, yeah, I forgot
So that was a
about
long
that.
time ago.
Yeah.
And then he got pardoned by President Clinton, so he didn't go to prison. But that's why I went there. But I didn't go to anywhere near the Strip. We went straight from the airport there. So the last time I was actually on the Strip was when I worked in Reno, and this is back in 1993. So it was actually like 22 years ago that I was there. And they sent me there for the opening of Treasure Island. And at the time, Mirage was the big casino. I mean, now you look at it, Mirage is a little tiny casino.
Yeah, no kidding.
And Treasure Island had the big pirate show and the whole thing. So it was very interesting for me to go back
All right.
and look at it again.
All right, so we'll get to this in a second, but let's talk Jodi. So Monday, is this is this going to end? This particular journey going to finally end
Yeah,
Monday?
it'll end on Monday. And like I've said many times, she will not get the possibility of release. So let's bring everybody up to speed if you're not watching the Jodi Arias case closely. I mean, we had this trial that's been stretching on now for over 2 years. And basically, at the end of the last trial, the last jury couldn't decide on whether or not Jodi Arias would get life with the possibility of release, without the possibility of release, or death. They deadlocked. So what they did is they had a retrial that lasted almost as long as the original trial.
Incredible to me.
It went on forever. It just ended. And again, that jury was a deadlock. It was 11-1 for death. So it was very close. She came very close to getting death. So now that this has happened twice, the judge decides. She will not get death, but the judge will decide whether or not she has a possibility of parole. They call it parole. It's not really parole. But the possibility of release after 25 years.
So, and that is prescriptive. They didn't give up. This is just, they get 2 times to try this?
Yes.
4, and then, okay. And
which is 1 time too many, if you ask me.
yes, and
huge waste of money, the second one.
I've been absolutely baffled by the way this whole process goes and how many resources get reinvested and bring new people in and ramp it all the way back up.
Yeah, millions of dollars.
But the other question that comes up every time, so we might as well get it out of the way, can the judge sentence her, or can she choose death?
No.
It's completely off the table at this point.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. As a matter of fact, it was actually a federal ruling. I think it was a Supreme Court ruling, and people always check up on this stuff as I say these things. But we had a whole bunch of people on death row who were sentenced by judges. And because of that Supreme Court ruling, all those cases had to go back and be basically retried or reheard by juries, and the juries had to decide whether or not they got death. So basically, the federal government has said, if you're going to hand down death, states and courts, it's got to be by a jury of their peers. It cannot be by a judge.
And that makes sense to me because there's enough that can go wrong if you're giving someone the ultimate punishment, to me, you're going to want to err on the side of caution, and giving that to one person, there's just so much that can influence one individual. And so I know a lot of people are
you've got
upset.
a hanging judge who just automatically gives death all the way down. The thing is, it's our justice system. It's not perfect. We all know that. But my feeling is this: if the biggest problem I had with this whole thing was the jury that sat and heard the original case, all the evidence, because the second case didn't have all the evidence. I was in both. They couldn't come to a decision. And so then, the prosecutor made the decision to go for death again. But then you're basically having another jury that hasn't heard really anything about this case trying to decide the most important aspect of it, whether or not this person is going to die for their crimes. And it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I completely agree. I mean, to cover all of that, it was one of the confusing things when I started here to ramp up on that. I thought I couldn't be hearing it right, that they started all over from scratch. It makes zero sense whatsoever.
But not from scratch. Basically what they're told is, hey, this person you see in the courtroom has been found guilty of murder. And as a matter of fact, the previous jury also found that there is an aggravating factor that she should be eligible for death. So now it's your turn. Should she get death? You know what I'm saying? Wow. To me, it's just a huge waste of money, more than anything else. I mean, if the original jury can't decide on death, then just go life, Maybe even make it natural life. I don't know. I mean, but going back to another trial was, I think, a huge waste of money. And look where we are. We're in the exact same spot we were a year ago, or 2 years ago.
And now Monday,
except for millions of dollars spent.
So now Monday, the judge is going to decide whether it's life or life without parole. Correct?
Judge has already decided. That's my opinion.
Okay. All right.
No matter what gets said in that courtroom on Monday.
Then why do you think it's going to take? I mean, what I'm hearing is prepare for all day. We're going, for anyone watching, if you're a Jodi Arias aficionado, follower, whatever you want to call yourselves, we will be on the air 8:30 a.m. Monday, Sami will be back. We will be going as long, carrying everything live that we can carry live, looking back at a lot of old packages, a lot of old stories around Jodi. So tune in here right away at 8:30 in the morning. But I'm getting told to expect that this hearing is going to go all day.
It's possible. I know that at least one member of the Alexander family, who I've been in contact with since this trial started, is planning on speaking. And so we may see 3 or 4 members of the Alexander family speak. Now, I'm wondering who's going to stand up and speak for Jodi, if anybody. Because, we've been told, basically the judge has said, you guys can stream / put this on live, but there are going to be certain witnesses who don't want to be shown.
Right.
So not only are we not going to allow you to show them, you can't even hear what they have to say. So in a way, who was the big secret witness in the last trial? Who was it? It was Jodi Arias herself. So, and oftentimes I've covered many of these sentencings. The defendant or another convicted person will get up and say to the judge and say to the family, I did this, I'm sorry, and then throw yourself at the mercy of the court.
Right.
Now, will Jodi do this? I don't know. But the only person who I know of who was so adamant about being secret during this whole last trial was Jodi herself.
That's what I thought. You scared me there for a second, because that's what I thought. And you said that, I'm like, am I going to say a name I'm not supposed to here?
No. We broke that it was her. I had 3 really solid sources who told me it was her.
But I know some of the people who are speaking again, to your point, Monday said they may not be able to be shown.
Right.
So
the only people who don't want to be shown in this case are people who are associated with Jodi Arias.
Yeah.
Why would somebody being associated with Travis Alexander not want to be shown? It's that nobody wants to be seen standing up and saying something nice about Jodi because she's so hated. And the backlash of it.
Yeah, it's phenomenal to me. What she did is atrocious. Just absolutely reprehensible. But the amount of hatred that some people have for her is just absolutely stunning to me. So what's your prediction for Monday?
I think it's going to begin. I think you're going to hear from probably the victim's side first, I would imagine. So you might hear from some Alexanders, and I don't know who else. It's basically wide open. I don't think there are a whole lot of rules about who can speak at this thing. I think, if you ask to speak, you pretty much are allowed to speak if you've got a vested interest. Like some random person off the street can't just get up and say, kill her,
right,
or whatever. But I think
that would take a long time. If they let everybody queue up, this would be going out.
It'd be like a city council meeting, right? You have to fill out a little form, and it'd be like a whole line. No, we shouldn't joke about this stuff. What are you doing, Jeff, joking about this stuff?
I'm so
anyway,
sorry.
So I think what you're going to see is probably somebody from the Alexander side or the victim side, and they'll stand up and they'll say why they think Jodi should never get out of prison again. And then some secret person, we've never heard from Jodi's mother this whole time.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
No member of her family has stood up for her. Not one.
Again, I came into this midstream. I'd heard about, I knew about the case, but I didn't know the details. And some of this, I'm still learning stuff that just absolutely blows me away. So, okay, sorry, I was not aware that she hadn't spoken.
Yeah, no, Jodi's mother never spoke up for her in court. Even at the mitigation hearing. The thing is, a mitigation hearing, the rules are pretty open. You can just get up and say what you want, And her mother could have gone up and said, hey, Jodi was a good girl. Or, the problem is, anybody who would get up on the stand for Jodi would open themselves up to cross-examination from Juan Martinez. So, they didn't want to do it for whatever reason. Were they hiding something? Did they just not want to subject themselves to Juan, who can be, very tough? I don't know. So anyway, these secret witnesses, is it going to be Jodi's mom? Jodi has a younger sister who I know loves her very much, who's always on different social media supporting her sister and saying that, have a heart or those sorts of things. Jodi has a brother. Is he going to show up? She's got friends. She's got ex-boyfriends and rumors of people speaking for her at this point, back in the trial, who never showed up, never materialized. So, who are these people going to be? And what are they going to say?
So if you think the judge really has made up her mind already, is this more just a courtesy to let everybody speak who's very closely connected to the case, or?
One more time, I'm sorry. I was reading comments.
No, it's okay.
That
happens to me too, yeah. So we have the comments up in front of us, and we're trying to see what everybody's saying if they have particular questions, and it's easy to get sidetracked here. So
And real quickly, Billy Cruz is saying, wait, did the judge say that there could be secret people speaking? Yes.
Yes.
And it's not secret to people in the courtroom. And that's the whole thing.
Right.
So we're going to have reporters there. I'm not going to be there. I've said early on, I've got a commitment to my younger daughter who's playing in a volleyball tournament. I made that commitment way before I knew when the sentencing was. And frankly, Jodi has disrupted my personal life enough. I've canceled, you're laughing, but I've canceled so many family things because of this trial, and to me it's over. She's going to show up on Monday, she's going to get life without parole. It's a done deal. Either that day or the very next day, she's going to be in a transport vehicle straight out to Perryville Prison, and we will not see her again until any appeals she's granted.
Yeah, and my laugh
That's it.
was at the understatement in her disrupting your life enough.
Right.
So, yeah.
Actually, I'd like to be there. To be there at the very end, but I've made the commitment to my family, so I've decided to keep that.
So my question was, and I absolutely agree with Professor Bland's comment, family first. So if the judge, if you think she's really made up her mind for the most part and kind of knows which way this is going to go, is it just a courtesy to let everyone speak who
Yes.
wants to?
I think so. Yeah. And it can be cathartic for the victim's family, that they can really just kind of let it all out. And they're not worried about how it impacts a jury or anything now. I mean, now they can just let it out. Yeah. And I know that a couple of them are very passionate, and they've been very quiet throughout this entire trial because they haven't wanted to hurt anybody or hurt the case. But now they can just let it out, and they will. And I think it's going to be very powerful. I think people who watch this, who have any sort of an interest in this case, will sit and watch this Alexander family, and hopefully this will help them heal. In some way, because they've been going through this since 2005, or when was it, 5 or 6? I forget. It's a long flipping time they've been dealing with this.
Yeah, I can completely see where they would want that last chance to get anything off their chest or say what they want to say. To the question that kind of came up when we veered away from it, yes, there will be secret witnesses. They'll be visible to people in the court, but we're not allowed to share their identities. The feed that we have will likely pull away from them, and we may have to mute the audio. I'm not sure of all the details on that. We'll get that sorted out.
They'll probably just cut everything right there in the courtroom.
So, we'll be managing that. But as much as we are allowed to stream, we will be streaming starting at 8:30 on Monday.
Yeah, Billy Cruz, a couple of things. I'm going to answer you again. The prosecution saying that its total for this case was under $150,000. That's a total BS number. That is a BS number, and I'm calling out the county attorney on that right now. I mean, they can say that it's $150,000 more on this expert or whatever, but they have a huge budget built in. I mean, it's what we all decide, that the county attorney is going to have a certain amount of money to prosecute cases. But, I mean, think about the resources this case took over the course of years, that even a prosecutor, of Juan Martinez's stature was taken out of rotation for all this time to deal with this. His salary, all their experts they have, and I know they've got a budget for that again, but $150,000, that's a BS number.
Yeah, if they're claiming 150, that makes no sense.
Because they're saying the defense was like, $2 million or something? So come on, you telling me the defense spent 150 and the defense spent $2 million? No,
it doesn't.
It's not true. They're spinning it.
Creative accounting.
No spin zone.
Is that what it is? Okay.
That's what I'm calling it.
Now, Jodi's going to be there, correct?
Oh, yeah.
And is she going to be...
Should be in stripes.
Yeah.
And chains. Yeah, she is now. There's no pretense now. The judge knows what it's all about. They didn't want her in there in stripes and chains so they wouldn't prejudice the jury. So the jury's, I hear a lot of the jurors are going to be back in the courtroom to see how it ends up. And a lot of them are going to be sitting with the Alexanders.
Now, what about Juror 17?
That's what I've heard. Oh, Juror 17, I don't think will get anywhere near that courtroom.
Yeah.
No. But again, everybody who asks me, are they going to prosecute Juror 17? No. They haven't come right out and said they're not going to. Let me tell you right now, every bone in my body says no. Because, again, the county attorney's looking at that and saying, we don't, what are we going to do? I mean, at a certain point, no matter how disappointed you are in what Juror 17 did, it would be very difficult to prove that she walked into that jury box or that jury room with any sort of bias or any sort of preconceived notion in her head.
And from what I understand, she was very open about the things that she knew or felt or thought, that she'd seen part of the movie and everything else, and the fact that she had, I think it was her ex who was sentenced by...
No, she didn't say anything about that. But what she did say is that both of her exes, I believe, on her jury questionnaire had been through the criminal justice system, were felons. And so it was a failure on somebody's part to not look up more on those cases.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on.
Good one. God bless you.
It's allergy season here in Arizona. I'm telling you, it's so bad. You don't even think it's a desert. I was in Las Vegas for the last 3 days. We have a different desert than Vegas because I had no problem with my allergies in Vegas.
Yeah, I
And
had
I
the
came
same
back
thing.
here, bam.
The other thing I learned is filling in for Samia today. When I'm not up here, doesn't bother me. I come up here and I've got to sneeze like every 10 seconds. So I think there's something up here as well. Anything else on Jodi Arias before we talk about your most recent adventure and get you off to...
Let me look really quickly on my notifications because sometimes people send me good stuff.
All right, so we're getting a whole bunch of
We get to see
bless yous
most
and
of it
Zoom tights.
live. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about that. TC, Kitty, and Suji. Yeah, we're gonna have everything for you that we can have for you right here. And the nice thing is, I believe our news director also said on television. So if you're by a TV, put it on Fox 10, and we're gonna roll that.
Well,
right?
I think my understanding of where we are now is because it looks when it looked like it's going to go all day, that we'll probably be carrying some of it live in the morning.
Oh, okay.
And if it continues on throughout regular programming, then it will be coming here. So
I see
probably
what
some
you're saying.
simulcast
Oh, okay,
early
good.
on.
Yeah, so and we'll give you plenty of warning. So just have this website ready. Have your phone ready, your laptop or whatever, that when we go off the air, boom, hit it.
And MLSD Auto, if there's a way to pronounce that, I don't know what it is, says if they cut certain witnesses out, will they be recorded on FTR for viewing later?
I don't believe so, no.
Now, with Jodi as the secret witness, that was different because I think wasn't there either an appeal to get, or there's a request made to get that unlocked later, so then we were able to show her testimony?
Yeah, it was a rule of the appeals court. But see, that's during the actual proceeding. I don't know. That's a good question. I wish I knew the answer to that. I don't know.
Yeah, my guess would be if the judge decides that there's some reason to protect the identity and this is really her show and hearing these arguments, that there's really nowhere to go with that. That'd be my understanding, but I am not a legal expert. So, anything else on Ms. Arias?
No. Goodbye, Jodi. Have a nice trip. The one thing I do think is interesting about all this, and everybody who follows me knows that I have a little bit of a fascination with the criminal justice system, and especially jail and prison. And people think I'm weird because of it, but it's just such an extreme, and it's such a dark thing, and it's just so raw. But she's going to be in, I believe, nobody's confirmed this for me, but I'm using again all my deductive reasoning. I think she's going to be in Deborah Milkey's old cell. I think because I've been told by the DOC she's going to be right next to the other death row inmates. There are only 2 other women on death row, and they're all in this maximum security area, and the cell she's going to be in is going to be right next to them. And so there's only one cell next. I mean, you would think they'd have all 3 of the death row inmates together, and now all of a sudden there's a vacant cell. That had to be Milkey's cell. So Deborah Milkey just, got basically her whole conviction got thrown out for killing her son, and she came close to being executed a couple of times. And now she's free, and now Jodi's slipping right into her cell. And it's just an awful place.
And not to put you on the spot, do you remember the names of the other 2 women?
Shauna Ford.
Okay.
Shauna Ford was working with they called them a border vigilante group, and they were trying to raise money for their activities. And they went into a home down near Tucson that they thought was a drug house and raided it with guns, and they killed a man and a 9-year-old girl in raiding the house. And it turned out that it wasn't a drug house. They just killed a little girl and the guy, and they were all, So anyway, she got death. And then the other one is Wendy Andriano. And she's a woman who actually lived very close to me in Ahwatukee down in my neighborhood. And she was the manager of an apartment complex there and had a terminally ill husband who wasn't dying fast enough for her. She was having an affair with somebody who lived in the apartment complex. And she took out a life insurance policy on her husband. Then she poisoned him and thought he was dead.
Yep.
But all of a sudden he revived. She called 911 and the paramedics were on their way, and she's like, "Oh crap, he's alive again." Called 911 again and said, "No, don't come back. He has a do not resuscitate order." So they left, and then she beat him with a bar stool and stabbed him. So she's the other one on death row. Real sweetheart.
Yeah, so I was almost on her jury.
Really?
Yeah, I was called. I knew nothing about it at the time. Was called for jury duty. Great. I go down there, and usually you get you go down and they call you and they let you go right away. And I was in. They had over 100 because I think she had a couple mistrials, and so they're really trying to get a good jury seated. And I was just in jury selection for a week, a solid week of whittling it down and whittling it down and whittling it down. And I think I was one of the last 24.
Oh, you came really close.
I came really close.
It's like 20 they take, right?
Yeah. So I was one of the last ones left, and then it was, I want to say 18. It was like the jury and then like 6 alternates or something like that. But it was in that neighborhood. I was one of the last 24, one of the last ones to go. And I still remember looking at, because at this point, we weren't supposed to discuss what we were learning or what the case was going to be, but we knew it was going to be big. And if we were a week in jury selection, we were going to be in this trial for ages. And everybody who was actually selected just having this sad look like, no, as the last of us left.
Yeah, I think it's rough because I don't know what your company's policy is, but I know a lot of companies, they'll pay you for like 3 weeks on a jury and then you're kind of on your own. But I mean, who can be out of work? I remember one of the jurors who was on I don't think it was a death penalty case, but it was another high-profile case, but he said several of the jurors lost their jobs because it just went on so long, and the employer said, hey, that's it, or I don't know if they had it, but I mean, I know I'd be in some straits if I didn't get a paycheck for 5 or 6 months.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. So
that's real service. And then somebody said, that, just real quick, I saw somebody commented that Jodi will be in that cell until she dies. That's not the case, unless she really misbehaves. She'll work her way out of that super high security in area of Perryville, and within 4 years, with perfect behavior, with model behavior, she could go down to medium security, which is a dorm-like setting.
It'll be interesting to see how she behaves in jail and what happens and with the way she likes her theatrics.
I think either she'll be running the place or somebody will go after her and beat her up really bad. It's going to be one of the two.
I'm not sure anyone would
but knowing
take
Jodi,
that bet against
I would
you.
imagine she'll find the biggest, toughest woman and make friends with her, and somebody will have Jodi's back. That's just my feeling.
All right.
She's smart.
All right. I know you've got to go to get ready for the 5 here, but do you have a second to... Do you? When do you normally...
I don't know. Yeah, okay. You're right. I probably do.
All right. So you want to talk a little bit about where you were here?
Yeah. So I do cover other stories besides Jodi Arias, and I can't say too much about what I was doing because I don't want to give away things that we're going to kind of spring on people and promote and things. But I was in Las Vegas for a few days.
Oh, this wasn't...
Where's that? Can you call it?
Well, that's the Bellagio, yes?
Venetian.
There we
go.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. And again, I haven't been to Vegas in 20 years. So the people who go to Vegas all the time are going to be like, Troy, come on. When's the last time you were there? Give me a break. But it's like every casino on the Strip now has a mall.
Yeah.
And it's not just a mall. I guess when I went there 20 years ago, I remember I went and visited the Forum shops or whatever at Caesars. And I was kind of blown away. And at that point, that was the only thing out there like that. Well, now every single major casino has a mall. And I even said to the people who live in Vegas, I'm like, where are all... I mean, it's probably, 10 malls right there on the Strip. Do they really... People shop that much?
And from what I understand, I know some people who live in Vegas, and they said they never go to the Strip. They avoid it like it's a black hole because it's so full of tourists and it's difficult to get around and everything else.
Well, where do they go?
Other malls and downtown and just other parts of Vegas.
I was in downtown on Wednesday night. We had a nice little window. We were done at 7 o'clock. So I said to my buddy who I went with, he goes to Vegas all the time. He was the shooter. He's like, yeah, we always go downtown. I'm like, okay, let's go downtown. That is scary Vegas. I couldn't believe how many people had their kids down there. Okay, so anyway, that's the Venetian. And I took this picture and sent it to my younger daughter who, likes to shop every now and again. And I said, look at this mall. There's a gondola in the mall. Do you have the other picture I took of downtown?
I do. The only one I don't seem to have is the one I can't turn sideways, but...
No, this is very cool. So this is a $15,000 a night suite that Elvis lived in when he performed back at the International back in the 70s. And there's something Elvis related coming up that we're doing a story on. But I thought that was really cool. Now, it's been redecorated since that time. But this area right here is where Elvis had a piano. And, he performed twice a day. He performed twice a night. It was like there was a 10 o'clock show and like a midnight show, something like that. No. And so he'd finish that. He'd be up until like 4 in the morning. But at like 2 or 3 in the morning, he'd call up his background singers and have them... I have to go.
In a couple minutes.
Okay.
2 minutes.
He'd call up his background singers, and they'd go up there, and he'd play this piano, and they'd sing gospel till like 4 in the morning. I mean, the guy didn't want to stop. Can you imagine after 2 full concerts?
Well, Elvis has become sort of a icon and in some ways a joke. You've got sort of fat Elvis and kind of where he was at the end of his career. But, I mean, the man loved music. I mean, it was just absolutely in his blood and just everything about it. And he was just so passionate about it.
Yeah, he loved it. So we're going to do a little something on Elvis. That's about all I can say.
All right. And
there's a new big deal coming up about Elvis.
And this is your cover album of Elvis tunes. Going to get you in the spandex and the sequins. No?
But I always tell my personal connection to Elvis, which I know I've told a million times on the air, but people always laugh about it. My mom and her girlfriend were in line at Caesars Lake Tahoe back in the early 70s. It had to be early 70s, right, or late 60s maybe. And Elvis, his manager, Joe Esposito, who actually ended up living in Sacramento where we were from, but Joe Esposito came out and grabbed my mom and her girlfriend and pulled them backstage, and they sat down. Basically, Elvis was sitting behind a table. They brought them both and sat them on the other side of the table and said, girls, Elvis, girls. And they said they just basically sat there and watched him eat his food. And he was making conversation, and he was very pleasant, but Elvis just kind of wanted to have young women around while he was eating.
And so one of the young women picked out of the crowd for Elvis was your mom?
Yeah, my mom and her girlfriend, Connie. And they still talk about it to this day. So my mom was
I would
always,
think so.
Yeah, it was a big deal. And no, Elvis is not my dad. The timing's off.
I was like, should I make the... Nah, I'm just going to let that one go. So thanks for making the joke for me, because I'm sure it was the... All right, well, you need to go. I appreciate
one more shot. Let me show you downtown. So then my friend takes me downtown.
You sent me a downtown
Yeah,
picture?
and I said, oh, we've got some time. Did you look at the downtown picture?
Let's see what the ones I have here.
What else
That
do I
one?
have? No.
This is the one
That's
I can't
Elvis.
rotate.
Yeah, don't worry about that. I guess I didn't send you the downtown.
Oh, wait, no, there's one more here to look at. Oh, I got 2 more pics from you.
There it is. That's
Holy.
downtown.
All right. We're going to cut back to another picture.
Yeah,
That
so-
is. No, I haven't seen this one again. It's been a couple years since. It looks like you're underwater.
No, it's Fremont Street. So this, now, if you like to gamble, and you don't want to put $20 a hand down on blackjack, which is what all the strip, clubs were like. This is the area. So that whole thing in blue you see up top, that's like a big screen. It's like a big jumbotron that's curved. And they have videos playing up there and special effects or whatever. And then as you walk down, it's just totally old, cheesy Vegas, like Glitter Gulch you see right in the middle. That's a strip
I love
club.
old cheesy Vegas, though.
And then, to the left was like the Las Vegas Club. And we walked in there, and I'm just wondering if I should tell this story.
Well, now I want to hear it.
Well, there were all these young women dealing cards, right? Like blackjack.
Uh-huh.
So my buddy says, let's go to this club. Okay, so we walk in there. They're dealing blackjack, and they're all in these little tiny outfits, like almost stripper-type outfits, but they were clothed, but just kind of like G-string-ish backs or whatever. And so they're dealing cards, Joe's playing blackjack for a little bit, and our dealer says, oh, it's been great dealing to you, but I have to go. And we're like, oh, okay. She turns around, walks, steps up on a little stage behind the thing, and grabs a pole and starts dancing. I'm like, where am I?
Wow.
Is that bizarre? Have you ever heard that?
I have not heard
She
that
didn't take clothes
story.
off or anything, but I mean, it's just like, oh, okay, well, you also dance.
Yeah, I would have
thanks
thought
for the
that would
deals.
have been 2 separate jobs. Not, everybody's having to merge. I do social media, and I come up here and do the web stream. She deals cards and dances.
There you go. So yeah,
Wow.
I didn't gamble for very long.
And so that's over. So this was a actual street. This was Fremont.
Yeah, that's
Street,
Fremont.
and now it's completely covered by a jumbotron. So if it rains, you can be walking down this street under the jumbotron.
Yeah, I'm not sure how weatherproof it is, and there are stages. And the other thing that I was blown away by is how many people had their kids down here. This is not a place I'd bring my kids. There were a ton of kids.
Well, just based on the story you told me, that doesn't exactly seem like a
And
kid-friendly zone.
there are bars out in the middle of that street that you can't even see there. And then on the bars are women go-go dancers doing their thing.
That's the.
Did you see that move? I got something going there.
Yeah. So now I'm really interested in seeing the stories that you brought back.
Well, it has nothing to do with this. These are personal stories. But I did some really interesting stories, and I'm going back next week for a couple of days to do a couple that I'm super excited about, which are much more in my wheelhouse, which is like the adventure. And we're doing a story about 120 feet below the shores of Lake Mead next week, and there's something down there that's very cool.
And I know a little bit about this story, and I'm really excited to see it.
Good. All right.
And if
Thanks,
you don't
man.
bring me back a whole lot of footage for YouTube,
oh yeah, we'll go crazy with it. Yeah, and I love this venue that we can do longer form things. And you know, I some of the stories that we're going to be able to air, of course, on the air you can only put them on for about 2.5, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But here we can let some things breathe, and I'll have a bunch of raw stuff that we can have fun with.
we'll tee those up, get some Q&A going. It'll be fantastic.
Great.
All right.
All right.
Thank
See
you, sir.
everybody.
Have
Bye-bye.
a great evening. All right. Mr. Troy Hayden has had, to put it mildly, an amazing life with all of the adventures and stories and everything else that he has covered. He will not be joining us on Monday for Jodi Arias, but we will be here with all the footage that we are allowed to carry out of the courtroom, as well as packages, recaps, information, interviews, some of the best material that we've had to date out of the trial. So let me close some of these other things here. We've got a few stories to conclude with today. Appreciate all of you joining us. We started with a rather crazy car chase through the streets of LA. A green Prius carjacked. It was a taxi cab. Guy went on a relatively slow speed chase, ended up getting cheered on by residents, giving high fives as he drove by. It was absolutely bananas. And that's a technical term. Actually, it's just a Jeff term. This is, if you didn't get it before, this is Jeff Moriarty sitting in for Samia Khan. She's on vacation, and we've dubbed this Jeff Friday. Not my best work, but, you know, hey, it's Friday, so. All right, let's take a look at some of the other topics that we didn't get to today. Everyone here, the Coachella Music Conference. It's hardly a conference. Concert is starting, and you've got people showing up to camp and get down with this music festival. I love it that people want to see me get tased. That's so touching. I really appreciate it. I'm feeling the love up here. But we are, instead of me getting tased again, going to go to this package and look at some of the people queuing up to camp at Coachella.
They're here. Coachella Festival goers are ready to party and camp.
We have 8 camping spots with all of our friends from Chico, alumni included, and so we're just really excited. We've done this before. It's a couple of our friends' first time, but we're just excited to be with a bunch of our friends and see a bunch of our favorite bands.
This whole crew, we all kind of met because we all went by ourselves, and then we all started camping together, and it was this ridiculous kind of synergy, and everyone comes together.
Oh, camping, like, no one has to drive. You can walk around, meet people. You know, you rough it for 4 days, but it's just a lot of fun. You know, you can go in and out. It's a good time.
Some people traveled quite a distance for the festival.
It's definitely different, but it's definitely a good different. You know what I mean? It's like a homey feel. It's more homey.
The parking lot of the shopping center near the Coachella Music and Arts Festival is littered with a lot of these guys right here for people getting ready to celebrate a probably not so sober weekend, but all these sales do mean big business for local shop owners.
We get a little bit busy when they come in for the lunches, probably on Fridays and Saturdays and Sunday, and then we're doing breakfast on Saturday and Sunday, so hopefully we'll get a good rush then as well.
Hotels across the valley plan to rake in cash from concert goers. Michael Von Whitna is Director of Marketing at Saguaro in Palm Springs.
We are fully committed for the weekend, as we are for every Coachella, and but they make it very convenient. We have a shuttle bus service that takes guests out to the grounds and back, so they don't have to drive. But it's pretty effortless.
Whether concert goers lounge by the pool or camp with an ice chest, either way, they're spending some big bucks in the valley this weekend. Joe Galley, News Channel 3, Indio.
So I have never been out to the Coachella Festival. looks like a heck of a lot of fun, and it looks like you have to really dedicate yourself to it. That is not the kind of amusement that you're going to do if you've got to get back to work the next morning. So it's going to be kicking off. Hopefully we'll get some news out of that, some of the bands that are playing. It sounds like a fantastic time. Let's see what else we have here that we didn't cover. I am going to go ahead and play this tornado video. If anyone missed it this morning, we'll just run through it once because it was pretty impressive. Excuse me just a second. All right, sorry, just checking in to see if there's any news or other stuff going on. I'm going to get this tornado video. Amazing stuff. Right about the middle, if you watch this one closely, the guy in the video says that he actually sees a car leave the freeway pulled up in the air by the tornado. We watched this morning. Weren't able to see it. But I'm going to lean in nice and close and see if I can spot it this time. This is amazing video. We'll just run through it once. I was hoping to get Dave Muncie to join us, but we're running a little close to the top of the 5 o'clock show, and everybody around here gets really, really super busy when that happens. So let's watch this tornado video.
Getting good. Let's go north. Let's go north.
Oh my God! Horizontal.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! This is violent. You guys, it's right there, right there.
Stop. We're good. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Oh my God.
It hit cars. It hit cars.
Look at there goes cars. What?
Oh my God.
I saw headlights go flying. Oh my gosh.
Josh, you need to stop.
No. Keep going. Keep going.
We'll
We're
go slow.
fine.
We'll go
We're
slow.
fine.
We'll go slow.
Oh my God. We need to see if anybody's all right. We need to go. Call 911 probably if they need help.
Oh, it's hitting something. Wow, this weird shape. Look at debris.
Call 911. That was a car. Videotape it.
Well, you can see why I wanted to play that video again. That is amazing footage. You know, there's some crazy weather still out there. Did some more stuff over the weekend. We will have that for you on Monday if we have time. Again, Monday is going to be devoted to Jodi Arias sentencing. All right, checking to see if there's other news coming out. All right, 2 more topics. So something we talked about this morning with that trucker that went over, you know, the storm chaser vehicles, and these are This video is clearly from a storm chaser. They were looking for it. They knew what they were talking about. They were in a very stable vehicle, even though the storm was going crazy around them. These things are constructed to really, almost hug the earth. Some of these look almost like a turtle. So they stay really low to the ground, don't get picked up, don't get... there's still a lot of danger out there, but not quite the same danger as a big rig like the one we saw flip over there at the end. Let's see, the next one I'm going to add, if you are eating anything, you might want to put it down. This is an interesting story, but it's a little kind of gross. So this is about a man who had a tumor removed, and it is a world record tumor. I am very happy for him. I can't imagine having anything like this in my body. So bear with me. We're going to take a look at this story about this man and this tumor that he had removed.
What does it look like to you?
It looked like an egg. Looked like a shiny pearl. Big.
What about this version? Dyed green and sliced up.
Avocado. Also looked like Easter egg that had been dyed green.
For 64-year-old Raymond Thompson, this mysterious mass is personal.
I said, wow, that came out of me.
Yes, it came from inside his body, a mass so big it's the largest of its kind known to the medical community. It all started when Thompson, who grew up in Maryland and D.C., told a doctor that for years he'd suffered from frequent urination.
When I have to go to the bathroom at night, I have to run.
An ultrasound helped them figure out why.
I said, something's in there.
The mass is what's called a giant peritoneal loose body.
Dr. Rachel Sussman works at MedStar Georgetown University Hospital. She says it starts with a small piece of fat that breaks away and is floating in the body.
When it falls away from its attachments in its blood supply, it can turn to calcium. And over time, the mass can grow and grow, kind of like a pearl in an oyster.
It's not uncommon, but this mass was just under 4 inches long.
But it's unusual because it's the largest one ever reported in the literature.
Doctors think that Mr. Thompson must have been traveling around with this mass for a very long time, maybe even since childhood. As for the consistency of it, well, they say parts of it were kind of like a hard-boiled egg.
I said, well, when you take it out, I want to keep it. It's my property.
Dr. Sussman did the surgery.
Basically just scooped out the mass and removed it. The surgery was very, very fast.
The mass was removed in 2013, but is soaring to stardom after being featured in the latest issue of the Journal of the American Medical Association.
Wow. It healed great.
Since the mass was resting right on Thompson's bladder, he doesn't have to urinate quite so often.
I mean, I have to walk fast, but no, I don't have to run.
It's benign.
And how do you feel now?
I feel blessed.
As for making it into the medical literature,
I expected it.
You did?
Yeah, a special person.
And his doctors have the evidence to prove it. In Maryland, Beth Parker, Fox 5 Local News.
You're welcome. That was the first time I'd seen that package all the way through. I knew what it was about. I also was with you, Professor Bland. When she had that egg up, I'm like, please don't eat the egg. Please don't eat the egg. Please don't eat the egg. I was very glad that she did not take a bite out of the egg. Joking aside, that had to be incredibly uncomfortable for that man. And I'm glad they were able to find that and take care of that for him. So, yeah, that was pretty amazing. One more story here that we want to cover. This will be, I think, a little bit more of a, I don't know if it's necessarily a fun one, but more interesting. And this is I don't have a lot of information on this, but it is a plane coming in for a belly landing. Some audio on it here. We'll play with their audio levels here.
Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it.
No gear. So not the most of dramatic a video, but a safe landing. Dramatic there for a bit with the landing gear down. Yeah, very impressive landing, all things considered. You could hear the tower talking him in, and there were no avocados or eggs or anything else in this one. So wanted to change your, not end on that note. I thought that was an interesting story, but not the one you want to end with on a Friday. All right. I think I am about done here. A few more things to wrap up before I head out for the weekend. You know the drill. If you want to get an alert when we go on the air, and that includes for Monday morning when we will be carrying Jodi Arias sentencing live starting at 8:30 Pacific. So for those of you elsewhere in the world, it's 8:30 Pacific. Counting my fingers here. 11:30 Eastern. There you go. Tune in right here, youtube.com/Fox10Phoenix. Download the Fox 10 Phoenix app on your iPhone or your Android phone. Follow us on Fox 10 News on Twitter. Any of these ways are fantastic ways to get an update for when we go on the air. Appreciate all of you wonderful regulars in our chat room joining us for the car chase, joining us for an update from Troy, a sneak peek at some of his packages coming up. We look back at that Cottonwood video and a whole lot more. So I've been sitting in for Samia Khan. She's off on vacation. She will be returning on Monday. I will be back taking care of things behind the scenes, helping her out, because it is going to be busy. Busy. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for everybody watching me get tased earlier. And I think that about wraps it up. So, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you have an absolutely fantastic weekend, and we will see you all next week. Cheers.